The shingle pain makes it hard to relax into the podcast a little.
Yeah.
That's why I started drinking.
Drown them sorrows, buddy.
Doesn't get rid of that nerve pain. Can't dampen them nerves.
No, sir.
Need a fucking fentanyl patch. Well, I'm Jason.
And I'm Jules.
And we doing filmographies. Hey, how many into the Liottas are we? Was this number 3?
I think so.
The lovely lady.
Zsa Zsa Gabor,
something
right?
Piazzadora.
Piazzadora, yeah. Right, this is 3.
The lovely lady, then something wild, and now this.
Yeah, Dominick and Eugene.
Yeah, they call him Nicky and Gene in the movie.
Gino.
Let me fire up the synopses here. 2 brothers, Eugene, Ray Liotta, an ambitious medical student, and Nicky, Tom Hulce, a mentally challenged garbage worker, live together, with Eugene looking after Nicky. But the relationship is strained when Eugene's medical career and his relationship with Nurse Jennifer, Jamie Lee Curtis, force him to consider separating from his brother. When Nicky intervenes in a child abuse situation on behalf of a neighborhood boy, the resulting trouble with the law may tip Eugene's decision. It came out March 18th, 1988. Directed by Robert M. Young.
6 days after my 7th birthday.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to just say right off the bat, I like this movie.
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah. The ending was like the whole child thing at the end was...
yeah.
But...
Were you, I mean, initially I was quite dubious what with the
mental disability and...
The fact that they have...
Amadeus.
An actor with no disabilities playing somebody with developmental disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
I was dubious. I bought him, and then like the opening sequence, I'm like, yeah, he's doing the Hulk thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe it. And then he drops the toothbrush in the toilet, and I'm like, guys, yeah, I don't think we should be making...
Yeah.
We don't need to be silly about it.
Because it's a brain trauma, right?
Yeah, which does that... I mean, I guess that happens.
Yeah. I mean, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, in The Lookout?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That brain trauma there.
Did he get into a car accident or something?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was driving recklessly.
That's also a fictional character, though, so I don't know if that's a good basis for being like,
well,
this
but
is
for
what
him,
happens.
he actually spent a lot of time with people who had brain traumas.
TBIs? I guess people are quite different after him. I met a lady that used to come to Dunn Brothers that I liked.
Yeah, it's hard to say, because for him, Joseph Gordon's character was more like a memory issue and some cognitive issues.
Yeah.
But for this dude, I mean, he just seems like...
he's like naive. He's trusting.
He's like a child.
Yeah, he's not. He's pretty functional, but he has some problems staying on task.
Right. And some of that could just be the comfort blanket of his brother, right? Who's always there, who's making sure nothing happens and
praying to God to help him stay focused so he doesn't lose his job.
He's a little sheltered. He interacts with the priest a little bit, and the older lady, Miss Ginelli.
Yeah, their landlord.
Which every time I heard on Mike and Tom Eat Snacks, a Ginelli is when you drink something while eating something, and it kind of like meshes.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're
you
eating
do
crackers, you're going to drink.
You're going to mix it with the cracker in your mouth, not just
you're
chase
eating
the crackers?
Cracker. Well, I mean, if I have a mouthful of food, I will take a drink sometimes of something. I'm not all the time. But
I got a mouthful of fruit snacks, throwing some Dr. Pepper in them.
Yeah, that's Ginelli.
That's a Ginelli.
Yeah. The movie opens up. Now, Ray Liotta is a med student.
Yeah, I guess
correct?
so. Yeah.
There are moments in the movie, though, where he seems like he's already a doctor.
I mean, I think that's basically what being a med student is. He's doing the internship. He's there. He's a functional member of the staff.
Very true. Now, first we meet him. He's doing CPR as a guy's being wheeled in. I thought he was like just an orderly or a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like fixated on them trying to resuscitate this guy. Jamie Lee Curtis comes in immediately and she's like, I need you to tutor me. He's like, I get paid $15 an hour. She's like, okay.
Oh, it is a pay thing. Okay, I missed that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a horrible movie watcher. Do you notice? We're like, what?
Well, I watched this only hours ago. And he's like...
Oh, I've been working for 22 hours. I gotta get some rest. But, why don't you meet me in the day room at 3?
So he goes home. He runs into Nicky, who is dragging his feet, getting ready. They're having breakfast. He goes, hey, Nick, you can take care of yourself. For some reason, I wasn't here, right?
I guess so.
Because I think the doctor said to him, hey, you got into Stanford.
Who was in all that jazz?
Oh, the doctor?
Yeah.
Was he the doctor in there?
I have no idea who he was.
Wouldn't that
in
be
there.
something? He was a smoking doctor?
The doctor's good in this, right? He's got a, there's something interesting about the way he performs.
He slightly reminds me of like Donald Pleasance a little bit. He's not.
He feels more real as opposed to somebody playing a doctor.
This is an era where bit players and smaller role actors were just doing their job, you know, and it's great. So, you know, Nicky's rushing and, you know, he's talking about the Black Plague.
Larry's always telling me about it on the raft patrol.
I told you not to pay attention to him.
I always believe him because I never know if he's lying or not. And that way, if he ever tells me the truth, then I'll be ready.
Fucking Larry. Larry seems like he's going to be a real problem in this movie.
He does.
Which there's a lot that make this movie. This movie's quite charming, and I feel like the development with Larry really adds to that.
You kind of see what's happening, but throughout the majority of the first chunk of the movie, I'm just like along for the ride, and I don't know what ultimately is going to happen.
No, not at all.
You know, because you got Larry, who we meet moments later, because Ray Liotta's like,
I told you, I don't want you trying to scare him.
What's with you?
He doesn't need the Black Plague from you understand?
Lay off me.
Mr. Johnson drives the garbage truck.
That guy's still alive.
He is.
I just saw him on something recently.
Too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's ancient.
He's the old man in a chair in the TV show I just saw.
Or, yeah.
And he's he's old forever.
Yeah.
That's the horrible thing about getting old, man.
Yeah. Once you're there, that's just it.
You could be 65 and you're already old as shit, and you live to be 105. You're fucking old for 40 years?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep. Same haircut.
Ugh.
40 years. So Johnson drives the truck, and Larry and Nicky, you know, they work the back of the truck, collecting the garbage bags. And
the way they collect garbage is they go around to the individual bins and take the bags out and load them into the back of the truck. Now, the way we have garbage trucks now, they come around, the robot arm picks up the dumpster and shakes it in there.
And I feel even back then, you would probably just pick up the can
and dump it
and shake the bag into the back of the garbage.
Yeah.
But the weird part is this is like some sort of an independent operation.
Do you really think that?
Because they're like,
If we were with the union, we'd never have to lift stuff as heavy. You get your teeth fixed for free, too.
so if they're not in the union, which I think is just almost like default, especially in like Pittsburgh, it must just be like, I don't know.
No, in St. Paul, where I live right now, there's one waste management service, which is horrible.
WM?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few years ago,
Literally waste
there was like
management.
8 or 9 of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like Randy's.
There used to be quite a few, which would be nice. Competition would be good.
Yeah.
Because when I moved into this house, I did not have trash service
That's interesting.
for like a month.
Yeah.
Because
I
they were.
remember you telling me that.
Man, I had so many fucking bags. I put them in the bins outside, but
Yeah.
nobody would come get them.
Did they get your neighbors?
Yeah, they wouldn't get us.
They just wouldn't get you.
They've actually, the guy, the fucking the Larry of my route did it one time.
And they reprimanded him.
No, he was cool about it. We weren't listed because we had to send them a deed of the house, and then when I did that, they wouldn't answer my emails.
How do they even know? Is it like Paperboy and the houses are either it's blue, so you deliver the paper, or not?
Yeah, I guess they have some sort of digital route on there. Man, I had so many fucking garbage bags upstairs. I was bringing them to my work.
Yeah.
I put them in the back of the car and drive them to my work and dump them. It was crazy.
Now, so the movie takes place in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is an interesting looking place. There are a lot of really weird.
The way the houses are laid out? Or
Well,
what?
so like they live above a Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
And it looks like, I guess it's like Little Italy. It's like a little alleyway or something. But yeah, like at one point when he's running to the hospital later, he comes down like that curved road alley thing and runs towards a house that's like super tall and super skinny on like a cliff.
It didn't seem like he was going anywhere near a hospital. I was wondering where he was running to, and then suddenly he was in the garage.
Later on, when we see him at the cemetery, there's like a small pocket of houses that looks like an old English countryside village. And then just beyond that's the city.
Yeah.
There's when he's being chased by David Strathairn later, there's railings along the curb.
Yeah, it's odd.
But it's like a big open street that empties out into that little street. When the ambulance is driving down the main downtown area, the streets are just like super narrow. I want to go to Pittsburgh, yeah.
Man, if I could ever go on another vacation with you.
They
let's
talk
go.
weird there. motor oil? Motor oil?
Is that what they say?
Yeah.
Was that Nikki saying that or
No, that's from a Fred Armisen stand-up.
Oh,
he does
wait,
all
does
50
that?
states. Yeah, it's fairly good.
I always think motor oil, Baltimore, motor oil.
We meet Larry. He's a rocker kind of guy. I mean,
Dude, do you almost want to see more Larry movies from around this time?
You know what
Is
I
this
want to
gonna
see?
look like that?
Them where they are at the end of the movie going forward.
Yeah.
Larry and Nikki and Mr. Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they're really having a good time, man.
Yeah.
And fuck, Larry comes through and he's not a fucking turd.
No, he seems like he's a scumbag.
Yeah, he's
like
picking on
makes
this guy.
fun of him. But
Because they go to the dump and he gets the 22
Yeah.
that Mr. Johnson keeps in the pail in the truck to go on rat patrol.
Sometimes you do some weird stuff, Larry.
What, just because you're chicken shit to kill the little disease-infested suckers you call it weird?
No, I ain't.
Chicken shit, Nicky.
I ain't.
Yeah? Prove it.
Take this bat and go beat him then.
that fucking crazy scene where he's got the bat and he's about to bash the rat.
Yeah, and
That's
Larry's
pretty
just
good.
over there, cacow, cacow, and he's, I got 3 of them,
You feel like Larry's going to accidentally shoot him or Larry's going to humiliate him in some way. This
Yes.
movie's got a lot of heart. Like, you definitely feel like it's going to go a melodramatic way. It's going to manipulate you, and it might in some ways, but it's a true to form story. Somebody's not watching 5 other movies and trying to piece together this thing out of those.
Right.
This is a real tale.
Yeah, I don't think there was that. Interestingly enough, the role of Nikki originally was offered to Sean Penn,
Oh, really?
but he turned it down and he went on to do Colors.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That was a big deal for him, I think.
Only for him to then, many years later,
Be I Am Sam.
I Am Sam.
It's time for me to go now.
I couldn't make through with that.
Kind of interesting.
Fuck, we should watch that at some point.
I Am Sam.
Yeah, I've seen about 20 minutes of it.
Dakota Fanning's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've never seen any of it. I don't like Hollywood movies where they portray
A disabled person,
A disabled,
like
mentally
radio.
disabled.
Y'all set to go?
Merry Christmas, Coach.
Merry Christmas, Radio.
Oh, can't wait tomorrow to see all these peasants there.
Yeah, she gonna be surprised, isn't she?
I can't wait to get home.
Yeah.
Especially if the actor is able.
I mean, that was my deep concern at the beginning of this, where I didn't think much of it until I pressed play and they showed me Tom Hulce, and I was like, I'm watching you. I feel like you're going to offend me, and I'm watching you.
Yeah. Especially when he interacts with that little boy. I'm like, oh no, is there going to be a misunderstanding?
It did seem like that.
Because the dad, David Strathairn, who plays Noah Volson in The Bourne Ultimatum, I'm like, is that young David? What the hell?
Yeah, I
You know?
bet you I should have looked at what he was in before this, because I can't imagine it's much.
I can't either.
I could see him being in movies for like 3 years before this.
9 movies, 4 television series, 1 television movie.
I think he's a real play guy. I think he did a lot of plays.
Yeah.
Because he's a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and they filmed this on location in Pittsburgh, because that's what they did back in the day.
Man,
They
I wonder
actually
if
filmed movies where they were set.
Man,
and not
we
just
should.
Toronto.
I'm gonna look here. You keep talking. I'm
Okay.
gonna look up who wrote this and if it's a personal story that they inspired them when they wrote it.
I looked up the director.
Robert M. Young,
Yeah, and originally it was actually offered to a
Sean Penn.
more well-known director also. So, they're doing their trash route, and apparently the money that he makes supports both him and Ray Liotta.
I was super surprised when that was like a plot point.
Right.
And Nikki takes care of them and pays the bills by being a garbage man.
I thought Larry was like razzing him, like, oh, you're the wife or whatever. So it should be stated that Ray Liotta and Dominick are brothers.
Yes.
Twin brothers. Fraternal?
Jesus Christ. Hold on. Corey Bleckman, one of the writers of this, wrote Free Willy 1 and Free Willy 2. Danny Porfirio only did Dominick and Eugene. That seems like that might be telling.
He's the...
There's 3 credited writers.
Oh, okay. Originally, this was offered to Milos Forman,
Oh, really?
and he turned it down. He's probably like, I'm Milos Forman.
What was he? Well, didn't he do Amadeus? And this is like Tom Hulce's follow-up.
Yeah, which he's a good actor.
I like him.
I don't really think he's had a super prolific career
No.
outside of the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, I feel like he had like 4 years in the 80s. That solidified him enough. But
It did, man. I mean, Amadeus,
Oh, he was in Animal House, but I think he grew out of that face. I
Yeah.
think he's starting to grow out of that face in this.
Yes.
He's got a very youthful, interesting face in Animal House, and it's in this movie, but
his neck's getting big.
He's just getting older.
Yeah.
Because there's a picture of him with a beard. Now he's like 70.
Yeah, I'm like, who's that guy?
It doesn't look like him.
At all.
Of course it doesn't. Some of his credits from like the 2000s, I was like, I saw that. I don't remember him being in it. I imagine he looks quite different. But yes, he's good.
Yeah. So they're doing the route. He runs into Mikey, a little boy, and he shows him a comic that he found. And there's a lady up the hill,
Man,
who calls the Larry.
Could you give me a hand?
Sure thing, Mrs. Vincent.
I'm having a problem. Come on up. And he's like, I'm gonna go fix them pipes.
Snake Higgins to the rescue.
dude, he's fucking her on the route.
And she actually looks pretty good from afar. She's a full-figured woman.
Yes.
I'm like, God damn, what the fuck's she doing with Larry?
How are you gonna fuck her on the route?
She's giving it away for free.
You're at work.
No
They
shit.
get on them when they're moving slow.
You don't even have to pay sales tax.
So does he just like hump her and then catch up to them by like running a few blocks?
Well,
or
and
what?
here's the thing. The boy is on the hill. And
That's
she's
not
at
their
the
kid,
top
though.
of the hill. No.
Okay.
She
I
comes
thought it
later.
was their kid initially, or her kid.
She comes later.
Completely unaffiliated with David Strathairn.
They live across the street from each other, right? But for some reason, he's coming up the hill to go to their house. I'm like, what is Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
What are you? And he even says to him,
Keep away from my kid, you hear me? All right? Now get out of here. Come on, get out of here.
hard. Maybe, I don't remember
I don't know
what
if he
says.
calls him that. But yeah, he's mean to him.
What are you looking at, Goofy? What are you doing, playing with your dick out here?
And he looks like a real Pittsburgh kind of guy.
Swats that kid with the comic book on the head.
Get back in the house.
And so then they go do the rat patrol. And then when he's leaving, he runs into the character's called Guido.
Hey, Guido.
The guy who has him deliver the newspaper.
The meeting is when he goes to work for him, or later on we meet him again.
Well, he's got the dog. So I don't know. I thought it was he came off of that shift. Maybe not. Maybe he's just out walking the dog. But he runs into Guido, who's like,
You up for a little delivery? Like last time. You know, my leg, it's hurting me again.
This is fucking crazy.
oh, yeah, no problem, Guido. You know, you remember what we did last time, right?
You take the paper over to my main man, Sal. You know where he hangs out? Yeah. You tell Sal there's a story he's gonna like on page 15. This is a very special edition. I don't want nothing to happen to him. I take it over myself, but I'm having trouble with the paper boys union.
As if
He's not going to find
he's going to go through
the little
the first
pouch
14
of heroin.
and
Cocaine?
be like, oh, there's nothing in here. What the hell? You know, you
It's
just
heroin.
open it and it falls out.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they actually say what it is.
The Liotta does later.
Does he say
I
it?
think so.
Because he foolishly taste tests it.
And he touches it gently on his tongue. Hooker knows it's cocaine.
What if it's cyanide?
Ooh, yeah.
How do you know it's-
Yeah, scary. That's, you know what? Anytime you see like a free bag of drugs outside.
Anytime you see a
scary.
bag of powder, you don't just dip your finger in. Like, that's what they used to do. And it's like, it's the numbing effect? Is that what you're, because it can't be the taste. What are you doing? It's illicit. Look, it's in a newspaper.
Well, yeah, no, it would numb your mouth if it's cocaine.
Yeah.
I think you would get a buzz.
would.
This
I
is
don't
a
think
membrane.
heroin
It
would
would
numb
it
you.
would pull you in. Yeah, I don't think heroin
Yeah,
would
it's
numb
not a
you.
good idea to put it on your anything, especially if you're a fucking medical student. But so
Imagine being bombed on heroin and going into work as a doctor.
your career's over. You know, I knew a guy, he used to sell weed in Madison, and he was going to school to, I believe, be like a guidance counselor or something. He's going to school for something that has to do with education, but not being a teacher. And he got busted with weed.
Can't do that no more.
You're done. You just wasted 3.5 years of money in school, man.
That's fucking rough.
Right? So he goes, oh, yeah, I'll go do it. And he goes, hey, tell him when you get there to give you a tip. You know, a nice guy.
Yeah.
So he's walking down the street, got some groceries, and some kids start messing with him.
Yeah.
They take off his hat, and they push him down. And Ray Liotta's being escorted home in Jamie Lee Curtis's car by Jamie Lee Curtis, who's driving it.
Did you find her to be basically a non-existent character, but also still warm?
Yes. I found her
That was the most-
performance confusing
Yeah.
at times. So Nikki's getting fucked with by the kids.
Hey, Nicky. How's it going today?
Okay,
You wanna do me a favor? Pick my nose for me?
hey,
Come on, pick it for me.
come on, leave me alone, guys.
And they push him down. And there's a bit I noticed one of the kids is holding onto his hat, and Ray Liotta's like, pull over, stop. And she goes, what?
What? Stop the car! Come on, you fresh Jimmy!
And when the kids start running away, the dog jumps up and grabs the hat from one of the kids' hands. But then he's like, "Arr," and he starts and walks off. So they help him up and walk him home. I guess she just parked.
Yeah, well, I wonder how close they were to home right there.
Around the corner, I guess. And they go into a restaurant, open up a door that doesn't appear to lock. It's just a wooden door. And then they live upstairs.
I noticed that as well. Like when Nicky
there's a
goes
latch.
flying out the door, it just bounces closed behind him. It doesn't look like the type of door that locks.
It doesn't look like
and
the type
isn't.
of door that closes all the way. It's like a door that's built over an opening.
I wondered if there was a secondary door that locked, so that one was not.
I mean, I guess the store when it closes, but then do they have keys to the store?
Yeah. There must be a side door, right?
And where does the old woman live? I thought maybe she lived.
Does she own the restaurant then?
Maybe. I don't know, man. I'm like, what is Pittsburgh? What are you? It's very bizarre. So when they get up to the apartment, she even says to Nicky,
Your brother has a temper.
and I'm like, what is she talking about?
Your brother has some temper.
He told her to stop urgently, but he wasn't like threatening or anything.
No, but I mean, he was screaming at her.
Well,
I noted that it was quite aggressive. And I felt like it was an awkward thing to happen between two people that might become romantically entangled. But it's entirely warranted.
One time when Frankie the Squirrel was bothering me, Gino came after him. You should have seen Frankie's face. His nose was bleeding, and his lips was bleeding, and even his eyes was bleeding. Thought Eugene was gonna kill him. We're getting a house together, Gino and me, by a lake.
I think it's just Ray Liotta, the way Ray Liotta talks.
He's got an innate intensity in him.
He does. And I realize in here that it isn't eyeliner. It's just really dark, thick eyelashes.
Man, you're really selling me on the fact that Ray Liotta's been always wearing eyeliner.
I think it's just the eyelashes. Unless he's wearing what do they call it? Mascara?
Well, that's the brush. The twisty brush?
Yeah.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
In any event, Nicky is like, he has to go somewhere. Maybe he's going to have tortellini with Miss Janelli.
Oh, yeah. They're
like,
both supposed to have dinner with her, but he's like, trying to send him alone so he can study with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Right, because they live in their beds are...
They're right next to each other.
It's like a fireman scenario.
There's 8 inches between the two beds.
And they're basically like twin-sized cots, almost. So Nicky goes to meet Miss Janelli for tortellini, and Jamie Lee Curtis says, oh, hey, by the way, your newspapers are going to fall out of your pocket.
Oh, yeah.
And he turns around like a dog chasing his tail. What? Oh, my gosh! I forgot! Ray Liotta's like, what is going on? And he grabs the newspaper and the dope just falls out of it. So it's like, you don't even have to tell him what page it's on.
Doesn't look safe to like, I wouldn't give that newspaper to that kid.
No.
It seems like that if you put the heroin into the newspaper, fold it, hand it to the guy you're selling it to.
Yes.
It doesn't seem like you just assume it's always going to stay in there and travels.
You don't give it to
a 10-year-old
who's going presumably quite far.
I don't know how fucking far is this kid
to
traveling.
Get groceries first, so either he forgot already.
Their whole world could be happening within 4 blocks.
It could very well be. So Ray Liotta tastes the drugs. Where'd you get this dope? And he's like, that's from Guido, my friend or whatever. So he just storms out, leaves Jamie Lee Curtis, tells Nicky to chill, and Nicky runs after him. Now they're just walking down the street, and they go up to Guido. And this is really strange, right? Or is it just me? The interaction between Ray Liotta and Guido.
I think it's crazy, but it's kind of great.
It's great. It's memorable, but so he's like, Guido? And Guido's on the phone in like his little office.
Who wants to know?
Yeah, it's like a paneled. It's like he's standing in a coffin. It's so small.
Yeah,
it's like a wooden phone booth.
Yeah.
With a glass door.
And he goes, what do you want? He goes,
I'm his brother.
So then Guido closes the door and Ray Liotta punches through the glass.
That's not why he punches the glass, bro.
Why does he punch the glass?
When he tells him he's his brother, he says, oh, are you retarded too? And then he punches him through the glass.
Busts the guy's face wide open.
That was impressive. I like that.
Doesn't seem to have really too much damage to his hands, even though they say later he's bleeding.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking, okay, now this is where the trouble comes from.
Yep. So there's going to be like a gangland retaliation.
Mm-hmm. No.
Not at all.
Comes back.
He never did. It's over with Guido. I mean, he said he didn't fuck around. He punched him through the glass into his face.
Yeah, that sugar glass broke like a motherfucker too.
Yeah. But also a drug dealer seems like they would have guns.
And that other guy.
Yeah.
The big guy that he had there with him earlier.
Man.
Well, so he goes back home with Nicky and he's like, you got to be smart. You got to be,
I can't watch you every minute. I'm not God.
Jamie Lee Curtis is just hanging out in her car. And she gets out like, hey, everything okay? And he's like, I'm sorry I left you. That's my Ray Liotta. I'm sorry I left you.
Angela.
I'm sorry I left you. She goes, no, I'm not upset. I'm, just making sure everything's okay. What happens then? He sees the priest. He says, hey, tell your brother to come to church or I'll kick his from here to heaven.
Did he say that?
He does.
Oh.
Kick his butt, maybe. I'll bleep ass. I'll bleep this at. Oh, Christ. Crap.
When does he get shook?
Nicky?
Yeah.
A little bit later on. I'm actually drawing a blank. What happens
after he punches Gino and goes back home?
Guido. Yeah.
Guido.
I know he does the priest thing. I know he spends a little time with Miss Janelli. She falls asleep.
Well, doesn't Jamie Lee Curtis give him a kiss at some point?
They kiss somewhere thereafter. Nicky brings home apple pie, and Gino calls him. I can't make it. Oh, but I got apple pie. And he's like, no. He's like, I'll wait up for you or whatever. They keep talking about WrestleMania. So their birthday's coming up.
Yeah.
They're both turning 26.
Young.
Yeah.
Ray Liotta's not 26 in this.
No.
He's probably like 32, 33.
The actor who plays Dominick because he is either. So we know that David Strathairn is abusive.
Kid's got a black eye at one point.
Yep. We know that Ray Liotta is grappling with leaving.
He's having a hard time.
Even though he's yet to actually mention it.
Did you specify that Ray Liotta's got a deal in Stanford?
Stanford, yeah.
That's where he's going to make the next level?
Yeah, because he tells the doctor, gosh, I don't know if I can leave Nicky. Well, I mean, being a doctor is about making choices.
I feel like, how hard would it be to make Nicky come?
You're going to get laid?
I mean, not make him.
Just ask
talk him into it, yeah.
Because they're talking about buying a house on the lake. So he's obviously open to the idea of living other places. I'm like, what is Pittsburgh? Jamie Lee and Ray Liotta start dating. He's got less time for Nicky, both because of work and school, I guess.
And now Jamie Lee Curtis.
But he's not blowing him off. They get the tickets to WrestleMania, and Nicky's got new shoes.
He looks great. Are we talking about? Yeah, it's the day of. He looks wonderful. He's combed his hair. Yep. He's I don't know. He looks scrubbed and clean to a T in thrifty clothes.
Yep. And Ray Liotta calls and says, "I got to stay at work, man. I need you to understand. To try to understand. I need you to try to do that. Call Larry. Take Larry. And he's like, oh, okay." And he does call Larry.
He straight up calls Larry. And this is when you're
and Larry straight up comes to get him.
Man, and this is when you start to like Larry, right?
Yeah.
Fucking Larry hangs out with him on his birthday. And
he's going to
like,
go to fucking WrestleMania with him.
He's down for it. And then when Nicky's like, I don't want to go to WrestleMania.
Take the tickets.
If it's not with Ray Liotta, he's not going.
Here, take the tickets.
People, I got better at me.
I'm gonna celebrate your birthday with you.
Let's do some shit.
Right. Which, of course, means go to a whorehouse. Is this the same woman?
Yeah, that's her. We get to see her now.
And the lady comes downstairs, and Nicky's just watching Reanimator? What is he watching?
The brain that wouldn't die.
Oh, I like this movie. And they talk a little bit, and she's...
they quote it together.
They do. And she's like, can you help me open up this wine? And then she's like, have some. And she's like, if you want to come upstairs and, basically... get in on this. I mean,
yeah, they're
I don't mind.
Just enjoy the company. That's all.
Devil's Triangle.
I'm just lonely. Yeah, she
right.
wants company.
So then they start dancing, and he's cutting loose, man.
He's having a great time.
He's got some fucking moves on him. And Larry comes downstairs when they're kind of slow dancing a little bit, and he's grabbing her butt.
Yeah.
Nicky's grabbing her butt, and Larry's like, "Get in there, brother!"
He's pumped.
He is pumped, and I was kind of thinking he might be like, "Hey, man, what?"
Yeah.
No. Larry's fucking dope. So then they start dancing, Larry and the lady. So Nicky goes outside. He sees Mikey. David Strathairn's on a tear because the baby's crying. Mikey comes outside. Nicky goes to talk to him. He's got a busted eye. The mom keeps coming up. Mikey, get in the house.
He's about to go off.
What's he doing out there? He's talking to some guy. Mikey, get in the house. And never mind the fact that there's just some grown man out there.
I think they all know him.
I mean, they know
him.
But
it's not good.
People have prejudices back then about...
I mean, grown men. Grown men's a red flag with small children.
Right.
That's,
especially
sexual beings versus non-sexual beings. It's not, we don't want those mixing.
Right. Especially a guy who has some mental disabilities.
Right.
Who isn't with women, it's like a gray area that fear. And so Mikey goes in like, my dad's a fucking dick. Then Larry and Nick go to the bar. It's like, let's get out of here. I'm done. And he takes a shot, and then he's just drinking a beer and he's playing pool. And he's like, man, where's my brother? He calls home, calls the hospital, and he's like, oh no, Ray Liotta left a while ago. With Jennifer? Yes. So he's like, man. And Larry's like, I mean, hey man, he's banging her, you know?
They gotta get rid of you.
Right. You work hard to put him through medical school, and now he's gonna dump you. No. Damn it, you're right. And then they get drunk. And they're fall down drunk.
Yeah.
And, you know, Larry's wising him up a little bit. And so then Nicky goes home wasted. And Ray Liotta and Jamie Lee Curtis are there. They decorated.
It's nice.
They got cake.
Yep.
You said you was working.
I was working. Jennifer gave me a ride home so I could see you.
I got to go back, but, you know, and have some. I don't want no cake.
Yeah, he doesn't want that fucking cake.
I had brownies at Mrs. Vincent's. Who's Mrs. Vincent's?
She's my girlfriend.
Nicky, what the? You gonna leave me?
I don't know what's going on? Huh? You think I don't know you're gonna go Atlantic City and leave me behind?
What?
That's when he shakes him.
Yeah.
They come together, and Ray Liotta just shakes the fuck out of him.
What do you think my life's about? You don't think it has something to do with you? Huh? You fucking idiot!
It's not good.
Pushes him up against the wall.
He's slightly rough with this guy.
A little bit.
His brother, he's a little bit rough.
Ray Liotta, you know, he goes to the other side of the room, and he's. I felt like he was going to break down, but he didn't.
Yeah.
It just fades. Next day, you know, they're driving to go to a picnic with Miss Janelli.
Yeah, man, this big apology, like this
clapping and singing.
Yeah,
like why isn't
awkward.
nobody else? And it's just like fine.
This weird little family vacation, right?
Very
in the
weird.
middle of the action.
Ray Liotta's got on his Canadian tuxedo. Nicky's playing with the dog. Jamie Lee Curtis just decides to lay down.
Yeah.
So Ray Liotta goes over to Nicky and he's like,
Look about what happened last night.
I didn't mean to get you so mad.
It wasn't your fault. I got angry. Because I don't know how to deal with the problem. I have to go away to finish. And I have to go alone.
Then the dog runs away.
The dog.
And gets hit.
This dog commits suicide. He
this
races.
dog's like, fuck these motherfuckers.
There's no cars around. They're out in the country.
Mm-hmm.
This dog hears a car and races into the road to get hit by it. It's so fucking crazy.
And you can hear the driver like, this dog came out of nowhere. So the priest is like, hey, you know, dogs go to heaven too. Remember that. It'll be a movie in a few years.
Is this when he tells him to go fuck himself? When
the priest?
Yeah.
Basically.
Nicky's like, who the fuck are you to talk to me? What does he say?
He says, if I was God, I wouldn't have done that to my kid.
Yeah.
If this is the best God can do, I am not impressed.
Which I don't know. Is he talking about Jesus? Or,
Yeah,
or the dog?
Jesus. No,
Okay.
Jesus, man.
Okay.
Nicky is transcended. He's like,
yeah,
religion is a lie.
Uh-huh.
That's amazing.
And I'm Kaiser Sose.
Oh.
Secretly.
Is he?
Yeah.
Ooh. So
now they're doing the garbage run again. And
oh shit, this is the
Nicky
thing.
runs over to get the garbage from Mikey's,
which he has done like 3 times before. He walks way out of his way, down a little path, onto their porch.
And Mr. Johnson pulls forward too all the time.
Yeah.
I think that he's going to leave him. So he checks the trash right by the weird. Again, like there's steps leading down from the street into their house.
There's a public trash can on a path outside their house.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
And there's no garbage there, so he has to go to the garbage by the house because they don't bother to bring the trash to the street, I guess. He looks into the house and he sees David Strathairn yelling at the boy.
Get in the cellar.
I told you going down the cellar.
I'm scared.
Get in the cellar, boy.
What are you scared of? And now I'm thinking, Nicky's going to burst in.
Yeah, it seemed like he's going to
be a
fight
fight
that
or something.
No, it's more tragic than that.
No, he just throws the boy down the stairs.
And Nicky just sits there and watches, frozen.
Like not even down the stairs. Like he clears the stairs.
There's a little bit of a shovey before that, right? Like he gives him a little push, and then he's not.
Yeah, and then he
fires him down the stairs.
And then he's like, "Oh my god,
my boy,
Mikey!" And then he looks, and then he runs to the phone to call 911 and looks out the window, and Nicky's just standing there aghast.
But it's unlike in Jesus' Son where it's nighttime, it's daytime and he sees him.
And they make eye contact.
Yep.
My son, enact, and Nikki just starts to walk away, and Larry's like,
You okay? What's wrong?
Mr. Johnson!
That was the holdup.
Something's wrong with Nikki. Come here.
and David's straight there, and my son fell down the stairs, and they sit Nikki down. He's just catatonic
For a while.
for a while. It's a weird choice, but I like that a majority of the scene takes place from Nikki's perspective. Like, characters are walking and talking, and you're just seeing like their midsection
as though they'd be in his eye line.
Yeah,
because they keep cutting back to his tear-streaked face,
right?
And that he just has that expression locked on there.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like
fucking real acting. This is Tom Hulce is really coming through here.
Yeah.
You really feel his horror and disappointment, maybe shame. Maybe
Right.
I just feel the shame for him.
And I'm wondering this whole time, like it isn't just what happened. He's remembering something.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's also.
And I'm thinking, fuck, did Ray Liotta knock him down?
That'd be bad.
Because they said he's got a brain problem because he fell when he was a kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, Ray Liotta, your temper.
He doesn't quite. Yeah.
You know. So then
he's handsy.
Mr. Johnson, like he's like, I got to move the truck because the ambulance is coming. Is what I think is what happened. I didn't see this at the time. He just gets into the truck and drives off. I'm like, well, why is he going to go get help? Dude already called 911 and he's in a garbage truck. No, now the ambulance drives up. And he's like, over here. And the prostitute comes out. The mom comes home.
Who is the prostitute?
She lives across the street.
She's not a prostitute.
Well,
she's a lonely, horny lady.
Yes,
There's
that's true. That's true.
There's no
Larry
exchange.
does say she's giving it away for free.
Did you just not want to call her a whore, so you went with prostitute? Is that what you were going to say?
No, I just kind of felt like maybe she was like the local.
Yeah,
you're not paying
the
it,
whore
but
across
as long
the
as you
street.
buy her, a drink,
Yeah.
kind of a thing. Maybe you pay her phone bill. I don't know. So she comes, oh my God, and I don't know, he just fell, and they put him in the stretcher, and Mr. Johnson's like, he'll be fine once they get to the hospital. And they start to collect their shit to leave, and Nikki runs after the ambulance.
Yeah.
Boy, where you going? Now he's been wearing trash handling gloves.
Yeah, oh my God, they go in his mouth.
Yeah.
It's just weeping. They're in his mouth. It's
Except
horrible.
when he rounds the corner on that weird.
Oh, you didn't want to talk about him stuffing the gloves in his mouth with the trash fingers.
He did. He did touch his face.
But you wanted to bring up, was he not wearing them? When
He's
he comes
not.
around the corner?
He's not.
Busted.
So he runs to the hospital, comes in, and David's straight there and sees him and grabs him, throws him up against a wall full of crutches.
Ooh, this is a rough one.
Boy,
You didn't see nothing. You say you saw anything, and I'll kill you. I swear I will. You don't know nothing.
He's dead. Fucking kid's dead.
Yeah. And
damn.
Nikki, recoils in horror and he runs away down an incredibly long flight of stairs. You remember that?
No.
It's like a bunch of stairs like in Joker, and then a walkway, more stairs, a walkway, more stairs. And then a cat runs across the steps at one point. It's really, I don't know if that's just happenstance or if they, for some reason, wanted that cat to do that. It was really weird. But he runs up to a payphone. Now, at this point, he's wearing his gloves.
Yeah.
He takes them off and throws them on the ground. And he calls the hospital, I guess, to call Ray Liotta. So apparently it's not the same hospital. Otherwise, he would have just looked.
I wondered that. I
Ray
thought he
Liotta.
would bump into him for some reason.
Right.
I mean, why? Of course, for some reason, it
He
seems
works
like
there.
that. Yeah.
He lives there practically. So he hangs up the phone and he goes home. Ray? Gino? Gino's not there. I thought he was going to catch them making whoopee because he rounds the corner and looks into their room, but it's empty. There's a pair of jeans actually on Ray Liotta's bed. So he basically goes back to the Strathairen's house and they're having a wake, a mourning period. I guess the priest is there. Some folk are there. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Before that, he goes to Mr. Johnson's truck and he grabs Mr. Johnson's 22.
Yep. The rat killing gun.
Yes.
Yep.
So he goes to the house and he's lurking around and the wife is just like, oh God, Mikey didn't have his lunch. And David Strathairen's like, God damn it. Can we stop talking about this kid?
They're in the room with their baby.
Yeah.
And then they move
Feeding
up
him.
to the other room.
He's like,
slightly.
go nap, get over it. And they're in the room and Nikki walks in and she's like, What is this man doing?
Well, this is interesting because for a moment it seemed like they weren't going to see him. It seemed like he was going to sneak in there, even though they're right there, and take the baby and leave. But no, they're like,
what are you?
Is that he's taking the baby?
Yeah, and David Strathairn was like, what are you doing? And he pulls out I got a gun.
Yeah.
He got the baby, he's got a gun, and they're like, whoa, what the fuck? And he's like, I'm leaving, and he leaves and runs away. And David Strathairn runs after him, and he hides behind a car.
It's so scary because you want to be like, hey, if you drop that baby will die.
Yeah.
I don't think you should be running around with that baby, dude.
No. But he is.
He is. He sure is.
And he runs home. Now, at this point, Ray Liotta and Jamie Lee Curtis are making whoopee.
Yep.
And he hears a siren, and he stops, and she's nonplussed. She doesn't think anything of it. Ray Liotta's like, I hear a siren. And, of course, the police are there, probably like, where's your brother? And so Nicky's coming around the corner with the baby stuffed in his coat. He sees the cops, and he's like, oh, shit. This is
baby
not
stuffed
good.
in his coat.
Yeah.
Its head's poking out, right?
It is,
it's up his shirt or whatever.
Interesting tidbit. In Pittsburgh at the time, maybe even Pennsylvania, it was illegal to employ children under the age of 6.
Oh.
But the producer of this movie knew a permit guy fairly well, so they were granted the permit to have the baby in it.
That's crazy.
Isn't that weird?
That seems terrible.
That he pulled strings?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But also, I mean, man, you can't have any kid movies made there with babies in it. Or movies with babies.
Yeah,
It would be a kid movie.
Yeah.
He runs away with the baby now, and he's in a dilapidated industrial area.
Yeah, they made it to a warehouse. The big warehouse scene. Yeah.
For some reason, a cop pulls up and sees him.
Let's hide in the empty building, baby.
And even weirder, the cop cars are Buicks. Different time, man. Different time. So he's like, hey, you stop there. And no. And he runs into the building. And now the police and fire brigade
snipers
descend. Ray Liotta's there with Jamie Lee Curtis. Let me talk to him. I'm his brother. I'll get him out of there. And no.
Completely unbelievable. Okay.
Give him a flashlight.
Yeah, they send him in.
The man says.
I don't think they do that.
No.
You get a bullhorn. That's it.
And so as he's going in looking for Nicky, we see snipers. They're police officers with rifles. They don't have scopes. They're not sniper rifles. He busts out the window and is sticking the gun out the window.
I'm going to shoot the man holding a baby.
And they just keep ascending the building until they're at the top. And they have their moment where he's like, Dad did this to me, didn't he? And Ray Liotta's like, oh no, you didn't tell me.
He was out of his mind. I thought he was going to kill me. And you stood in front of me to protect me. And he hit you. And he hit you. And he hit you. And I've hated him every day of my life for what he did to you.
It's sad. Ray Liotta's like, he was going to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
He was so mad he was going to kill me, and you saved me.
And now
Nicky.
I made a vow.
And what am I doing? Starting to cry.
Well, and he makes a vow. He said, I made a vow
that I'd never let anyone hurt you again. I didn't tell you the truth. I'm sorry.
Then why are you shaking him?
But not only that, he says, although I'm afraid that I'm just like Dad.
Eugene.
Man, you're cool, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
Take this baby.
I'm not upset that you're going to leave. I want you to. And you can cry, he says to him. And they're like, all right, well, let's get out of here. And we're coming down. Here's the gun. Don't shoot.
We feel better now.
And we actually see the snipers retract their guns.
Pretty unbelievable for the police. I'm sure they're just like, I'm still supposed to shoot them when I get a chance, right?
I'm going to shoot all of them, right?
Yeah,
and maybe one of my own.
Oops.
I don't know. So they come out and the cops, they give the wife the baby and they start arresting Nicky. And then in a relatively unbelievable move, David Strathairn rushes him with a gun. You stole my kid. Now, the only thing I can think is that he's going to kill Nicky so that Nicky can't say anything.
Yeah.
And he'll get off because of the scenario.
Yep.
That's all I can assume.
That's very valid.
He may even blame Mikey on Nicky. He was there when Mikey fell. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know, a little bit.
I always thought he was going to get blamed. I was worried about that
too.
when it happened.
So he runs at him with a gun, and Ray Liotta jumps in the way and puts it in the air, and he shoots, and the cops tackle him. And then Nikki's like, you pushed Mikey down the stairs. Oh, no, I didn't. This guy's a liar. And the wife immediately, she's just like, oh my God, this is my chance. It was him. What? No, he's lying. And I texted you this because after they arrest David Strathairn and they're walking him away, you see it from behind them walking away from the camera, and they must have called cut, or they just assumed we had walked far enough, because you could see that David Strathairn wasn't handcuffed. He was actually, the cuff was on one hand, but he was holding the other one. So he just lets go, and his arms drop to his side.
Do you think it was just uncomfortable to have both cuffs on? Like it tugged at you?
If anything, it was that the actor playing the cop just couldn't do it. They did one take, or maybe he was like, I have an old basketball injury. I can't be handcuffed.
I think this shot doesn't matter. Probably factors in more. You're probably right. One take.
Yep.
It's like, yep, no, that's fine.
And they're probably like, oh, that's fine enough.
Nobody's going to see that.
And then when they're editing the movie, they're like, shit.
They still don't notice it. Only Jules. It's just you.
Because then they cut to a reverse shot of them walking towards the camera, and his hands are behind his back as if he's handcuffed. So he goes to jail, and Nikki's free of charge. And Ray Liotta's moving out, and Jamie Lee Curtis is going to wait for him. And now Nicky is more of a man. He's wearing a tank top.
He's confident. Yeah, it's not a Hulk shirt, right?
That's a good point. Throughout the movie, I mean, he's dressed like a child. He's got a T-shirt, but it's tucked in to his trousers. He's got high water fucking flood pants on. And now he's just a regular old Italian guy.
I just keep throwing my arm back there. It hurts so much whenever I do that position. You can see the face, right?
Yeah, you're wincing.
He's confident. Like knowing what happened to him, and maybe feeling the love of his brother helps him through.
Yeah,
right. And he defeated David Strathairn. He stood up. Yep. He's
going to be going to see Patty on a regular basis.
Yeah, to watch movies and dance.
Yeah. While Larry bangs on her.
Yeah.
But so then,
oh my God, those creeps are going to be partying together for a long time. So she doesn't have a husband that's coming home, huh?
No.
I thought it was David Strathairn for
too.
Like a third of the movie.
Especially because, like I said, he's walking up the hill.
Yeah, it's all the same area.
And when we see the house again, I'm like, oh, that's a different house. I thought he was going to go up there and catch Larry.
Well, for sure, it's solidified when you see the mother of the dead child. You're like, oh, that's not the lady that fucks
right.
Larry.
And then she does actually come out and run. What's happening? Oh, Mikey! Yeah. So then, that's the movie, But there's this really great scene while the credits are rolling.
Oh, yeah.
Of them.
This is the confidence
doing
scene.
Their trash collection. Yeah. And so Larry,
he's just one of the guys now.
Yeah, he throws a lamp in. Oh, Larry's happy for him, and he goes, hey, we got a water cooler over here. And he goes, we need the Hulk. Yeah. And he's picking it up. And Mr. Johnson comes out like, don't make the boy do it himself. And
this isn't a one-man job, yeah.
They all help out. And I'm saying, I want to see Larry and Nikki.
Yeah, this would be good.
I want to see what they're up to. Because really, it's not Ray Liotta's movie.
No, Ray Liotta's good. He's a secondary character.
I'm sorry.
It's Nikki's movie.
There is a really questionable scene where they're talking about Jamie Lee Curtis's cooking, and Nikki's showering, and Ray Liotta's shaving.
Yes. What the fuck?
And he goes, she's not a very good cook, is she? And he goes, not like Miss Janelli or something. And Ray Liotta goes, what? And he rushes into the shower. Apparently, they're both nude.
Yeah. That's how you shave, right? Nude?
With a towel wrapped around your... Yeah. And they're like roughhousing.
In the shower,
he's like
but he's shampooing Tom Hulce's hair.
And then he's like, give me some of that. And he starts putting it on him, and now he's reaching
they're having a full-on shower like a dad and a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, we're going to shower together. We'll make it fun.
Right. 26-year-old brothers.
Yeah.
Nude.
Twins.
In like a really small shower, too.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever, but...
It's cute, but doesn't seem right.
Not something that...
Who are we to judge? You guys seem like you're a good family.
Yeah. Yes. Every scenario's
but this
specific.
Can be your secret. We don't need to know about
If Jamie Lee Curtis came in...
What would you think about that?
I think she'd think like we think. Like, this is wrong for some reason.
Is he in a wheelchair and cannot move part of his body, and this is the only way to help him clean? You guys take a bath together. No.
And the comfort level with which Ray Liotta did this. It suggests that
they do it all the time, dude. Yeah. They soap each other up. It's a great time.
Uh-huh.
Oh, shit.
How long do you think when
did mom die?
Yeah, because dad left, went to jail, died.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they said he was dead at one point, but
because he goes to the cemetery, I'm assuming he's there for.
That was the mom's grave. Well, I guess there was a date on that gravestone that we didn't pay attention to. That
I don't remember
solves
them
all of
actually
our
showing
questions.
it, to be honest.
Really? Darn.
But I mean,
1962.
That was a good sassy comment I had, though.
Yeah. So I never heard of this movie.
No, I'm slightly familiar with it.
I felt like that a few times, like I had maybe seen this very specific scene here and there.
Bravo. It was on Bravo in the late 90s.
I liked it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Fun. No, I mean, that's not right.
There's some of that.
It's likable. It's interesting.
Yeah.
You're worried for the characters and
performances are all around good.
Jamie Lee Curtis is strange.
She is strange. She's
not bad.
Oftentimes, she seems like she's ill at ease. She's off put by them. Mostly Ray Liotta. It doesn't seem like she
doesn't have much to
romantically
say.
interested in him.
No, she doesn't leave much of an impression other than like she's warm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't dislike her.
No,
doesn't seem like they gave her enough to do. But she's already a very established actor at this point. She's like 10 years into her career.
I mean, yeah, because the Fog was like 78?
80. Halloween's way back when?
Yeah.
Terror Train? Probably Trading Places by this point? No. Yes? This is
very
like
likely.
88. So yes.
Before this.
So she's already been like a fun comedy person with her tits out.
Yeah, this would be maybe even like 5 years before A Fish Called Wanda.
Same year.
Maybe she liked the script. It's a nice script.
Hard to say, yeah. Because she's in it immediately and throughout. In it as much almost as Ray Liotta.
This seems like it could have been a play.
Especially the way the apartment is laid out. Ratings?
Oh, wait. I want to... Ray Liotta does his trademark Ray Liotta crazy face laugh in this movie. I think... Does he do it in everything? Did he do it in The Lonely Lady? He did in Something Wild.
He's jovial when we first meet him, so there's a good possibility.
I can't even do it.
It's a good possibility.
Yeah, I did the face a little bit, but I can't even...
It's almost like the laugh is overtaking him.
Yeah.
Right? He's not laughing because it's funny. It's like a weird thing that's coming out of him, and then it becomes him.
I feel like that he sears himself into all of our brains when we see him do that laugh. And you're like, yes, Ray Liotta. That's why we all know who he is.
Yep.
Ratings. I would go between a 7 and an 8. I mean, I guess a 7. I guess a 7's fair.
Right.
Like, I would say, man, what did we give Without Limits, I wonder, for Billy Crudup?
Oh, God. For the actor or for the movie?
For the movie.
I think we both landed about a 4.
On the movie?
I think so.
That might
4
have
or
been
5?
I was worried we gave it a 7 because I was going to say this is much better than Without Limits. No, the movie.
No, the movie. Well, you know what? Honestly, we may have went pretty high with that because it was a good movie.
We were both like,
other than Billy Crudup.
It was an entertaining
6
movie.
maybe.
We didn't. Yeah.
Maybe a 6.
I think this deserves to be 1 point above Without Limits at minimum. No, I liked it. I don't know.
No, I'm right there with you. I'm gonna give it a 7, but I kind of want to give it an 8.
Right, it's a little embarrassing to give it an 8 because it's not like a perfect movie.
I think it kind of gets a little clumsy at the end, but by and large, I mean,
everybody's good.
Yeah.
I buy them as the characters. You're going to give it the 8.
I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Oh, all right.
I don't normally do 0.5s. I usually stick with it, but
it deserves it.
It does.
Okay. What do you give Liotta?
That's a good question. He's good. I think it's a little... His performance is just a little of the time, so it's slightly ham-fisted.
You think so?
I think a little bit. There's some nuance for sure, but it's Ray Liotta. So, like at the end when they're on the roof and he's weeping, it feels a little unnatural. Knowing Ray Liotta, the majority of the movies I've seen him in.
I think that's so unfair to Ray Liotta.
It is. I'm also going to give him a 7. I'm going to give the movie a 7.5, and I'm going to give him a 7.
Man, you know what I'm going to say?
What's that?
7, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
That's like we like this. It's not amazing, but we respect and like it. 7s is what we fall back on. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to find it out there.
Well,
was there anywhere to rent it? You could buy it on DVD,
yes.
VHS.
There was a DVD copy on Amazon for $50, I think.
Oh yeah,
and a VHS copy for $10.
Are you getting it?
It's a lot, but
No, the VHS.
I know, that's
So,
what I mean. 10 is a lot for a VHS. I've paid it already. You know?
Deserves a spot.
Deserves
on your VHS wall
to be remembered. Yeah.
Yeah. It is weird that it's not available. It's worthy. It should not be lost to the sands of time.
No.
All right. Next week, Field of Dreams.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that should be good.
Yeah.
That's a odd performance from Ray Liotta, right?
You know
That
what?
should
That's
be fun.
right. That is, because, again, in that, he is just literally an everyman.
A ghost.
A ghost.
Yeah.
At that. But I just watched that not too long ago. It'll be interesting to watch it again.
I haven't seen it for a while. I'm excited. I think I can get Jenny to watch it.
I bet I can get Callie to watch it.
Yeah. If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
All right. Find us on what? Yes.
Yeah, no. You're doing it. I was going to do it, but you're already doing it.
Find us on Instagram at We Doing Filmographies.
Yep. Find us on Twitter at Do Filmographies.
Hey, you like YouTube? We Doing Filmographies.
Goddamn right.
And hit us at the Gmail at We Doing Filmographies at gmail.com.
Yep.
I've been Jason.
I've been Jules.
Have a wonderful night.
See yourselves out.
Shingles.
Peace.
We Doing Filmographies is a part of the Now Playing Network. Visit nowplayingnetwork.net to listen to podcasts such as Movie Madness, Chicago film critic Eric Childress's movie review podcast. You want to hear some reviews on some more recent movies? Eric Childress has got you covered. Visit nowplayingnetwork.net